Coming up, no more reciting the Pledge of Allegiance for the Fargo School Board, why they decided to drop it. A suspect is arrested in a shooting in South Fargo. And Senator Amy Klobuchar backs a new bill aimed at reducing drug prices for some Americans. Hello and welcome to the Nightly Review. I'm Tom Tucker. We begin with a look at tonight's headlines, then a one-on-one conversation with comments tonight from North Dakota Congressman Kelly Armstrong, expressing doubts about whether the Fufeng group's plan to build a wet corn mill processing plant in Grand Forks will come to fruition. We're told the project is undergoing a security review because of its proximity to the Grand Forks U.S. Air Force Base. But first tonight, the Fargo School Board is moving forward with a plan to discontinue reciting the Pledge of Allegiance before its meetings. Member Seth Holden put forward a motion saying the pledge is inappropriate because the text includes the word God but mentions no other faiths. Holden says the pledge, would go against the district's policy of inclusion. The board voted for the motion 7-2. The board members who opposed the motion are Robin Nelson and Nikki Gullickson. A man has been arrested in connection with a shooting in South Fargo Saturday. 21-year-old Braden Poitro was arrested on an unrelated felony warrant in Dilworth on Tuesday. He's being held in the Clay County Jail on a charge of attempted murder for his involvement in the shooting that happened in the 3300 block of 35th Avenue South. The victim, a 39-year-old man, was shot in the arm. A Fargo Walmart manager is being recognized by police for his role in helping solve a major crime. Asset Protection Manager Travis Rorick was awarded a letter of recognition by the police department. Rorick contacted police after observing what he believed was credit card fraud. Officers found the suspects in a vehicle they say contained stolen credit cards and items taken from a local business the night before. Because of Rorick's actions, the property was returned to its rightful owners. Grand Forks police and members of the North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation are digging up a yard of a Grand Forks home. Investigators spent Tuesday sifting through the yard of a home at the intersection of 1st Avenue North and North 11th Street. Police are not releasing any information regarding the circumstances of the dig, except to say it's related to a criminal investigation. After Attorney General Merrick Garland authorized the raid on former President Donald Trump's home in Florida, U.S. Senator Kevin Cramer is calling for aggressive action targeting Garland.
What I would do instead, I've not said this out loud yet, but I would start putting together articles of impeachment on Merrick Garland, the Attorney General, over this one issue.
Senator Cramer told WDAY's The Jay Thomas Show the raid was a, quote, total show and part of a political agenda. Cramer says impeaching Garland should happen if Republicans take control of Congress in November. Senator John Hoeven says the Justice Department must be transparent with the American people. Concerning words tonight from the top official with the North Dakota National Guard, General Alan Dorman says recruitment is tough right now and said one of the primary reasons is the military's mandate to receive the COVID-19 shot. Dorman says the mandate is hurting recruitment. He made the comment while speaking to the North Dakota Association of Broadcasters meeting here in Fargo. In Minnesota, Democratic Governor Tim Walz and Republican challenger Scott Jensen scored easy victories in Tuesday's primary to set the stage for their fall matchup, while business attorney Jim Schultz won the GOP primary to take on Democratic Attorney General Keith Ellison. Schultz beat Doug Wardlow, who narrowly lost to Ellison in 2018. Representative Ilhan Omar won a close race over her Democratic challenger. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar is backing a new bill she says will allow the government to negotiate drug prices for Medicaid recipients. She says the legislation will save consumers more than $250 billion over 10 years. The bill passed the Senate despite a strong lobbying push against it by drug manufacturers. The House is expected to pass the bill on Friday. A third rider who attended the motorcycle rally in Sturgis, South Dakota has died in a crash on Highway 44 near the town of Scenic, South Dakota. Authorities say one person was killed Tuesday and 3 people were hospitalized with life-threatening injuries. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. On a lighter note, we aim to make the Nightly Review the best way to get your news and information and weather forecasts for the FM Metro. If you find that to be the case, please take a moment to hit subscribe and the bell button below to make sure you're always up to date. A very nice day weather-wise across the Red River Valley today. Not bad at all for August. Meteorologist Justin Storm is in the Skywatch Weather Center to let us know if we'll see more of the same tomorrow.
Thanks, Tom. As we head through the rest of this evening, mostly sunny conditions will continue across the area. Wind will be light out of the northeast, around 5 to 15 miles per hour, and we'll hang on to light wind throughout tonight, with mainly clear skies. Temperatures drop into the mid-50s, and we'll warm back up right around 81 for Thursday afternoon. Partly cloudy with increasing clouds throughout the day. We'll have a southeast wind around 5 to 15, with a slight chance for some scattered showers and thunder showers coming in Thursday night into Friday morning. Friday afternoon looks relatively dry, right around 81 again. It will be breezy with partly cloudy skies.
It could happen to you or someone you love. One moment, one diagnosis can change everything. Thankfully, there's a program that helps caring people uplift families through a crisis. Lend a Hand Up, raising financial help and hope through community benefits and online campaigns. A program that boosts generosity so gifts go further. Lend a Hand Up helps you help your neighbors. Learn more and give at lendahandup.org.
Welcome back to the Nightly Review. A slightly different approach to the one-on-one conversation tonight as we hear from North Dakota Congressman Kelly Armstrong. Armstrong appeared this morning on What's on Your Mind on AM 1100 The Flag. He commented on the controversial Fufeng Group's plan to build a wet corn milling plant in Grand Forks, not far from the U.S. Air Force Base. Some people are raising security concerns with the project. While Armstrong was questioned by Scott Hennon, I wanted to share the congressman's comments with you tonight.
Yeah, well, I think we've been in a different time with China before that. Obviously, the escalations and the things that move through there. And I mean, I appreciate everything they're doing. I've said this, by the way, this is also the CHIPS Act and all of these different issues that we continue to deal with. We have way too many special committees in Congress. And I think I've told you this, the one we have to keep is China. We need an organized, real strategic plan as to how to deal with this in the 21st century. We need off-ramps for a lot of things that we require way too much from them to produce. Even if one of my concerns with the chip bill is you can build chips in the United States, but all the raw product still comes from China. And we continue to do this. You know, we've offshore pharmaceutical to India, but they still get all the raw product from China. But yeah, I mean, if there's three ways this works, right? And some of the problem is whether or not, and this is just from the CFIUS standpoint, the problem is that's not transparent. They could say there's national security interests. There's not. I don't think that'll be the answer. And then the one in the middle is whether the juice is worth the squeeze. And I think we're a long way from this project getting built. And I want the process to run through, but I also want it to be as transparent as possible, which is one of the issues we're trying to work through, because I think the American people and the people in North Dakota and people are going to need to know about it. My concern is we get all the way through this and then it's not transparent enough to solve the problem, if that makes sense.
Armstrong went on to tell Hennon that right now he would not bet on the corn milling plant being completed under Fufeng's ownership. Hennon also asked the congressman his thoughts on the FBI's raid on the Florida home of former President Donald Trump.
Yeah, and we issued a statement yesterday. I've done it immediately. I mean, this is actually like what I used to do. I think the first thing is when you start watching political pundits on TV talk about how hard it is to get a warrant, that is misleading at best or blatantly false at worst. I've been on the other side of a lot of warrants, but here's the other thing you don't do, and particularly in this situation, and particularly if you go back with just the recent history of the DOJ politicizing, whether it's school board meetings, whether it's Comey, Strzok, Page. It took them a year to charge the fall guy who doctored an affidavit. So first of all, we're not starting at zero. And I'm proud of the fact probably because what I used to do, I was one of the very first Republicans to go after Ray immediately when I was on the Judiciary Committee, and that was still Donald Trump was still president and all of those things. But here's what you really can't do when you are dealing with something as unprecedented as this, and this is exactly what happened. They raided Mar-a-Lago. Their official comment was no comment, and then they leaked to the New York Times. That is absolutely unacceptable. This is not going into a community and executing a search warrant for a drug arrest. This is an absolutely unprecedented thing that happened with the former president. We should see the affidavit. We should see all that. And the DOJ does owe the American people an answer as to why they're doing this, because the timing is weird, the cooperation with all of this and regarding this. And by the way, all presidents, I mean, Donald Trump is a unique being. He's always been a unique being, but he's not the only president to leave the White House and take something with him. That is not, you can make this about a lot of different things. The problem I have, and which I want to see, is it doesn't matter what the search warrant is for. Once you're in, you're in. And if this is a fishing expedition on a former president of the United States of America, we have come to a very different place in this country.
I'd like to thank both North Dakota Congressman Kelly Armstrong and Scott Hennen for allowing us to feature their conversation on this report tonight. Armstrong is up for re-election this fall and is facing Democratic challenger Mark Haugen and newly announced independent candidate, former Miss America Kara Mund. I'm reaching out to Haugen and Mund as well to discuss the issues. Well, that will do it for this Wednesday night, August 10th, 2022. I'm Tom Tucker. Thanks for watching the Nightly Review.